Welcome to Action Coaching. We're delighted that you join us on today because God has a special coaching session just for you. The goal of Action Coaching is to bring the God-given potential out of you so that you can live your best life now. And so certainly we're excited about Action Coaching. We want you to hit share, and let others know that Action Coaching is on the air and that they need to be a part of it. We bring Action Coaching to you each and every Wednesday night. And of course, God always gives us something special to share with you during this time. Everybody needs a coach in their life. Nobody makes it without somebody else coaching them. So you need to understand that nobody makes it alone. We all are in need of a coach as we continue to walk this journey out. Today I want to talk about leadership. What does it mean to be a leader? How do you know you are a leader? What decisions do leaders have to make? And of course, in the midst of all of this, I'm going to give you the hard truth about leadership. Now, as we know in life and in anything in life, there's always someone that rises up to be the leader. Sometimes people are chosen to be the leader, but I like to believe that leaders are called. Now, I know we live in a society where we can appoint leaders, but that don't necessarily mean they're leaders, just somebody we appointed. But however, leadership is very important in the society that we live in. So we want to talk about what it takes to be a leader, talk about leadership, and of course, give you some of the hard truths concerning leadership. Now, number one, I want to stress is that to an extent, leadership is lonely. Yes, why do you say it's lonely? Because when it comes time to make a decision or to lead people, you can get counsel from others, but the bottom line is the decision is yours and yours alone. So you're either going to get the success or failure from your decision because it's up to you as the leader to make it alone. So there's a certain aspect of being a leader because there appears of loneliness simply because as a leader, you got to make the best decision for the group. Now I understand getting all proper information, getting proper counseling and those type things. But at the end of the day, after you've got all the proper information, the proper counseling, you still got to make the decision. So it's going to be very difficult for you to say that you are a leader and you can't make the hard choices. Leadership demands that you make the decision. And when you make the decision, usually it's going to be one that you have to make by yourself. So if you think a crowd going to help you lead, you think you're going to have all your friends and buddies there in the circle with you to help you make a decision, not happening, because leadership is a period of time that you have to be alone because you have to make a decision. Now, number two, usually you have leaders when situations got to be turned around. Very seldom do you see leaders come when everything is going just fine and everything is running smoothly. Usually when you change leaders, there are things that have to be turned around. If a basketball team hires a new leader or a new coach, it's not because the team is winning. It's because the team is not winning and things need to be turned around. If it's a business, Then business usually are not hiring leaders because everything is going good. They usually hire leaders because things have to be turned around. And it's very difficult, trust me, to turn people around, because turning them around is making them have to do something that they don't want to do. But that's what we call leadership. Leadership has to do those things. Leadership have to make the hard choices. Sometimes when you want to change things, you're not able to keep the same people, because the same people are the reason that things need to be changed. And however, you have to make a new choice. You will notice every 4 years or every 8 years in this country, when a new president is elected, one thing he does is bring in his own leadership team. Not that the other people that were doing the job for the other president were not experts or not doing a good job, but the issue is the new leader wants to turn this country or whatever around, and basically he needs people to help him say to people that they gotta make a change. I found this out in the church a lot of times, and then a lot of times I found this out with different age groups. It's very difficult to get people to understand that they got to make a change when the change is necessary. Sometimes in the age group, sometimes you have people that can't do what they used to do 20 years ago, but they refuse to move, and they take it as a personal attack from the leader when the leader is trying to help them understand that we have to change things. So leadership is all about making those hard choices, because you have to turn people in a direction that they don't want to go, because the only way you're going to have success in life is changes are going to have to be made. So a leader has to do those things. Now, my third point, I got my notepad here, and I'm going to take time to pull out my trusted notepad. Another thing concerning leadership is number 3. People have to do what they don't want to do. And that's a job in itself of the leader. But they have to get people to do what they don't want to do. When I was in high school, I had the task concerning the basketball team, and I was the point guard. And the rule of the point guard was to get the other players in the best position for them to do what they do best. However, I had one guy on the team, and he always wanted to do something that he could not do. And it was difficult dealing with him to say that you can't do this. There are other things that you can do, but as long as you continue to do this, you're going to hurt our team. And I'm not going to throw the ball to you, or I'm not going to call your number. And so we would consistently get into it because he felt like he wanted to do what he wanted to do. How many times in leadership, as a leader, you're going to find out that you run into people who want to do what they want to do and don't want to do what they cannot do. They just simply want to do it, not understanding that they cannot do it. And so you have to help them to learn to do things that they don't want to do for the betterment of the overall purpose. It's not about one individual. It's not about a personal attack on anybody. The leader has to make sure that we all succeed with the main goal. And that's why we have to get others to do that. Many times when you see things fail in life, basically because of poor leadership, And then when I said poor leadership, you have people that are consistently wanting to do something that they cannot do or not called to do. And so you have to help them understand that. I know how it is when people can sit and watch the leaders. I used to say that, it's easy to judge something from the cheap seats, but when you the one on the stage and you're looking out at everybody, then you understand it's a whole different task. But however, you have to work to get people to do what they don't want to do. So we'll be back in just a moment to talk to you about some more points concerning leadership. Welcome back. I left off talking about leadership when I talked about the thought people have to do what they don't want to do. So it's important as a leader to do what they don't want to do for the betterment of the overall vision. And then number 4, here is one of the most difficult things leaders constantly run into. I ran into it. Other leaders have ran into it. And if you're leading, you're going to run into it. Number 4, most people like old problems rather than new solutions. I know that leaders have ran into people who like things the same old way, and it's consistently failing. Especially sometime when the environment I'm dealing in, which is the church, they are notorious for not wanting to change. They want to use the same old problems rather than new solutions. Society is changing. You're changing. Times have changed. And what worked in the past is not working now, because this is a new day, this is a new time. And many times in organizations, it's difficult to even let people go, because some people were good for the organization growing to a point, but then it was time for new solutions, and you either had to bring in somebody better or somebody more equipped with the new direction we are going. And the consistent fight is they want to use the same old problem expecting new solution. That's not going to happen. You got to adjust as you go. And something that was good years ago may not necessarily be good now. So as a leader, you have to help people understand that the same old problems won't work for the new solution. Meaning, think, when I was growing up, we did not have access to cell phones like they do now, and like the younger generation have now. And the thing about it is, for me to consistently get up and talk about not using the phones, when the phones now created pretty much you can have your whole life on the phone, and it would allow us to be more effective, to do greater things, to reach more people. It would be senseless as a leader to keep functioning at that level. So a lot of times when you run into people and they don't understand leadership, it's basically because they want everything to remain the same when there are new and better things that are being invented and changed every single day. In any corporation, any church, any ministry, household, even in your own life. You just can't do the same old thing the same old way. You got to have new solutions. You got to change. You got to understand that the change is necessary. So being a leader have to make sure he take charge and let people know that we cannot do the same old things, the same old way, because it will not work. So that's my 4th point. Now, number 5 is you have to understand that a leader have to always be in the planning ahead mode. In other words, if you don't plan ahead, surely you are going to fail. And if a leader does not plan ahead, he or she is destined to fail. The organization is destined to fail. You think a lot of times people can have a very successful business, whether it's making a Coke product or some kind of exercise product or new food that they've invented that come out. Just because it's good right then, that don't mean that somebody else is working every day on another invention that will make yours obsolete. But you got to plan ahead. You got to understand you can't be satisfied with your last success, that you're going to have to move on up the road because God got so many other things in store for you. So a good leader understand that he have to lead his people to plan ahead. None of us are going to be here forever, but what we started can be here forever if we plan ahead. Another point is this. A leader leads the people to take action after you know what you want. Now, I'm the type of person that if I'm going shopping, when I enter into the mall, I know exactly what I want and where I am going. And that's me. But then you got other people that'll go into the same mall and say, well, I ain't going to look around all day till I decide what I want. And when you are in leadership and you taking actions concerning your organization or turning things around, you got to know what you want so that you will know when it comes how it's supposed to look, and you know you fulfill the requirements. So you got to know what you want. Leadership is difficult. A lot of people are destined to lead, and God is raising up an awful lot of people to lead. The call of leadership may be on your life because leaders are definitely needed at every level. But any leader have to understand these points in order to be the successful leader that they are supposed to be. It's a great joy to be in a leadership position, but it's also a lot of hard work and understanding that the hard decision must be made each and every day. What hard decision have you had to make? What have you taken leadership of? What have you decided to turn it around because there is a problem? It's amazing that people that lead keep going through the same old problem and they expecting different results. It's not going to happen. A good leader understands that there is a problem and it can be turned around and we can move on to new successes. So I certainly want to encourage you, those of you that are in leaders. I know I said that leadership is lonely, but however, you can talk to other leaders, because I found that all leaders have basically the same thing in common. It might take on a different name or a different appearance, but I found out usually they have the same thing in common if they doing leadership right. Now, I've certainly enjoyed sharing with you about leadership and about the hard choices that an individual have to make. And it's exciting to know that God is ordaining you now to lead. And if you're in a leadership position, you can use these points to get stronger, because it will definitely help you. We're in need of great leaders. Not everybody is a leader, but God is raising up leaders so that we all can get things accomplished. So I'm excited about talking about leadership. I want you to reach out to me and let me know what questions you have about leadership, the things you would like for me to answer concerning leadership. I can answer them here online if you reach out to me via social media, and we can discuss those things over the air, because we want you to be the best leader that you can be. Well, the Lord bless you. I certainly enjoyed sharing this with you on this week, and I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you.
Now, I mentioned to you that I was going to come back with another point, and I really have already expounded on it, but I'm just going to mention it briefly, and that is God is with you in your waiting. In the time that you're waiting, He's with us. He said, "I never leave you nor forsake you." God is with us. He walks with us. He goes before us. God is above us. God dwells among us, and He's there. So when it feels like God is not with you, then just know that you heard First Lady say that according to the Word of God, He said that I never leave you nor forsake you. And I mentioned to you the last thing about staying busy in God. I encourage you to make sure that you stay busy in God, and know that everything that happens in the meantime is used to prepare us inwardly and outwardly. So God is still working. He is still working. He's doing what He said He'll do, and we just got to trust Him. So with waiting comes learning, and I can share the things with you that I'm sharing today because of what I learned during my time of waiting.
Welcome back. Thank you for being a part of this leadership teaching on tonight. And certainly I want to take this opportunity to encourage you to reach out and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Leadership or Action Coaching, so that we can continue to coach people around the world. They too need someone to coach them, and you can help us extend our arms and reach and coach so many people by sowing a generous seed faith offering on tonight. There's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways that you can sow unto this ministry, and we definitely would love to hear from you. So I'm thanking God for you sowing to Action Coaching on tonight, so that Action Coaching can continue to reach others and continue to do things in a bigger and even better way. Thank you for your support. Thank you for taking time to join me every Wednesday and let others know about Action Coaching. Well, the Lord bless you. I certainly enjoyed talking to you. And as I do each and every time, I want to encourage you, share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.